Hello guys, how are you? And this is brief about me. I am mechanical engineering from BIT Bangalore. I work as a software engineer. Okay, I'm from Muzaffarpur, Bihar. And apart from Selenium video, I do make a video for the core Java. Okay, so if you want to see my core Java video, you can go to this. I have made a playlist, YouTube.com user Bhanu Pratap playlist. Okay, so or you can search Learn Java Easy by Bhanu Pratap in YouTube. And whatever source code I write for the core Java, I update here Bhanu Pratap core java.blogspot.in. So you can watch video here, and whatever code you want, you can take the code from this place. Okay. For the Java, whenever you are watching it, follow module by module. Otherwise, you will miss a lot of concepts. So this is my playlist, Mr. Bhanu Pratap Singh 29 playlist. This is the URL. Okay. And today I'll be making video for most awaited topic, Selenium Framework, because a lot of my friend asked me to make a video on framework. Because what happens is, in the real time, you go for the coaching classes, and they will teach you how to locate the object, how to identify the object, what are the ways through you can identify the object, but they will never teach you how to make a framework, right? So when you learn from any institute or any online classes, you'll be good with the identifying the object, right? You might be knowing that how to identify the object, but you don't know how to put into the structured way, and how in industry, how actually people they design framework, right? So I just wanted to make your life easy, because even though you learn from outside, you cannot put experience on your resume, because you might not be aware of the framework. And framework, trust me, framework is very, very important, because wherever you'll go in any interview, they will ask you about the framework. Without framework, they will not proceed, right? So the first questions would be, explain framework, what are the components in the framework. So I thought of explaining all that, so that you can crack the interview easily, right? So whenever you go for any interview, right, first they will ask you Selenium interview. Basically they will ask you, why framework? That question would be the first question. Why framework? Why framework is required at all, right? What will happen if I will not use the framework, right? Second thing would be, explain your framework, like what are the components in your framework, and what is the use of that component in your framework, right? So don't worry, I'll explain you everything. And now onwards, you can easily crack the framework interview questions, right? So I'll start with the framework concept. See, I have made a list, right? Here, if somebody will ask you why framework question, right? If somebody will ask you why framework is important. See here, whatever answer I have written here, it's based on my experience. I have not copied from anywhere Google, and I have not written any fancy words, any hi-fi words, right? I just used whatever we do in the real time, whatever we do in the industry. And if trust me, if you'll speak these lines, you can clear the interview. If you'll speak your Google lines, you cannot clear the interview, because even when interviewer asks the questions, before asking the questions, they will see in the Google only. So if your answer will match with the Google, they will come to know you just mugged up from the Google, right? So if somebody will ask you why framework, just say that framework is a structured way to arrange our scripts, page library, reports and logs, right? Say, we know how to write the script, right? We know how to run the script, but we need to create a framework. So framework is nothing but it's a consolidation of everything, right? Where you consolidate your scripts, consolidate your page library. Page library is nothing but your page methods. Like let's say whenever we work on any module, we will have a lot of methods for that module, right? Take an example of if I'll take an example of Myntra, right? We have login page, we have product details page, then we add to the basket, we have basket page, and then we have a checkout page, right? So we have different kind of pages. First is login, second is your product details page, third is a basket page, and fourth is a checkout page, right? Or any example. See, take an example of Facebook. First you have a login, then you have your home page, and you have a lot of settings, right? In fact, in Flipkart you have same way. You have a login page, you have product details page, you have a basket page, and you have a checkout, right? So every pages has their actions, Every page performs some actions, right? Every page performs some actions. Your login page will do a login. Your product details page, where you will select the product based on the brand, based on the size, based on the price. You do filter. You select, like I want this brand. So to do all that, you need to create a method for the page, right? So let's say you are in product details page, right? You need to create method for the product details page. What method? Like one method would be select filter, select price, select product, select brand, right? Then select price range, right? So these are all are nothing but page library. Page library is nothing but it's a method of the page, right? Again, if you go to the basket page, you'll have lot of things in the basket page. You have delete items from the basket, continue shopping, add more items, right? So these are all methods, these are all page actions. That is called page library. Then once your page library is ready, your script is ready, then you run your script, you get some reports, and you send your management through a mail. Then logs, right? So now onwards, whenever somebody will ask you what is framework, just say that it's a structured way to arrange our scripts, our page library, our reports and logs, right? This is one line answer. Don't say any fancy answer, okay? Just say this one line answer. It's a structured way to arrange our scripts, page library, reports and logs, right? Then they will ask you what is the benefits, what will happen if I will not follow any framework, what will happen? Just say that we have lot of benefits when we will follow the frameworks. What benefits? We have easy maintainability, right? Easy maintainability we have. What does mean easy maintainability? Simple example I will tell you. Take an example of Flipkart. Why I am taking the example of Flipkart, Myntra? Because everybody knows about Flipkart, everybody knows about Myntra. Take an example of Flipkart, right? You have a product details page. Product details page where you see your details of the product, any mobile electronics item, right? What you did, you made one method. You made one method called select product. You have one method select product, and that method has lot of codes inside, right? The method has lot of codes inside, right? The method you wrote into the page library. Page library means inside the product details page dot class, you have one class page product details dot class. Inside that you wrote that code. Now you already made one method for that into the page library. Now whenever you are designing the script, right? Page library is different, the script is different. That I'll explain you when I'll be talking about the framework, and when I'll be doing Java coding, you'll come to know what I'm talking about. So you made one method select products. Now tell me one thing. Select product method will be applicable for any kind of mobile. It will be applicable for Micromax mobile, it will be applicable for Sony brand, Apple brand, right? Samsung brand, right? So select product, basically we are making a generic method, right? That will select any mobile, right? So whenever we will be designing the script, right, we will call only select method in all our script. Let's say we have designed 100 scripts. In 100 scripts we have written, in 100 scripts we are calling select product, right? So when we have designed page library, when we have a method called select product and we are calling into hundreds of scripts, if we have if we have created a page library, then if there is any changes in the future, we'll just go to the page library method and we'll change to one place, and it will work fine everywhere. Wherever we have called that method, it will work fine. In any page, in any scripts, wherever we have called, it will work fine. But assume that we have not followed any framework. We just created a piece of code, and the piece of code we have repeated to our 100 of scripts. In all 100 scripts we have repeated the same code. Now what happened? My product selection code has been changed, the UI is changed, or functionality changed. Now what will happen if you don't have a framework? You have to go and you have to change in every script. All 100 scripts you have to go and you have to change. But you have a framework. If you have a framework, you can go to just your page method. You just go to the page library, just change that method one place, right? It will be applicable in all the scripts because your all the scripts calling that method. But when you are not following a framework, your maintainability will not be easy. I think I hope that this point will be clear. Easy maintainability. Now easy to run our scripts. How it is easy? How it is easy to run, right? Yes, it is easy to run. How? Because if you have a framework, right, and you have 1000 scripts. If you don't have a framework, what you have to do? Go right click, run one script, go right click, run, go right click, run, go right click, run, right? If you have a framework, right, you can run all the test script in one shot, right? You can do integration with the Jenkins, you can do integration with lot of ant file, even you can do through Maven and you can trigger from the external source. So run is easy, right? You can run a suite. Easy to debug our script. How it is easy to debug? Easy how debug? If somebody will ask you how it is easy to debug, yes, it is easy to debug because when we have a structured way. When I say it as a structured way, which means everything we have everything we have arranged in a proper way. Like we followed proper way. We followed in a structured way in the sense of we have we have a one package which has Excel reader, we have another package which has page library, we have third package which has our screenshots, we have another package which has our logs, we have another package which has our locators. So we know that where what we have. So debugging will be very easy. We'll just go to that particular package, we'll see the class, what class we have a problem, and we'll just go and change. So debugging will be very easy to incorporate changes in the applications. Now we have a framework. How this is easy? I will tell you. We have a framework. In a framework, when I'm talking about the page library, see, in any applications you'll have 30-40 pages or maybe 5-10 pages, right? Now you have a framework. Now for every page you have made a separate class. Inside the page library you have made a separate class. Assume that p1.class, p2.class, p3.class. For every page has some method, right? You have written every page has some method. Now when you design the script, basically what you do, you make a object of the class and you call the method, right? To be more precise, right? You just make a object of the class and you call that method. Now assume that you made 1000 script, right, and you have 10 pages in your application. Tomorrow page number 3 developer will change. Tomorrow page number 3 developer will change the UI. So for you, if you have a framework, you will just go to the page number 3 method. You just go to the page number 3 method and you change your method. You don't have to touch the script at all, right? So you can incorporate changes very fast. And when you don't have a framework, you'll be end up of changing every scripts. So it's better to follow the framework. Easy to fix scripts on failure. Let's say how this is useful through framework, I will tell you. You ran 100 scripts. Now 40 got failed. 40 got failed because of one locators. 40 got failed. How it is used? Since you have a framework, which means you have a place where you are writing all the objects, right? You have a place where you are writing all the locators. You will just go to that particular place and you will change to one place. The moment you will change there, it will be applicable to all the scripts because you have at one place, right? One place where you have written the locator. So just go and change, right? Easy to create custom reports. How it is easy? When you have a framework, you can write your custom reports. How? I think you guys might be aware that we have a custom listeners, right? We have a custom listeners in Selenium. I mean, we can write our listeners. The listener class is very good for creating the reports. You can do the customization of reports. You can create the reports, and even you have facility to do report on a start test, on fail test, on finish test. So it is very easy. When you have a framework, you can easily create custom reports. Easy to do configuration changes. What does mean configuration changes? Assume that I have one URL, I have one username, password, and I have one browser to test our scripts. Now when we have a framework, I'll be writing everything to the properties file, right? I'll be writing everything to the properties file, and my script will be reading from the properties file. My script will be reading from the properties file. If I don't have a framework, what will happen? We will be hard coding to the script, right? We'll be hard coding to the script. So when we do hard coding to the script, tomorrow if I have to change my URL, I have to go to the every script and then I have to change. I have to go to the every script and I have to change the browser type. I have to go to the every script and I have to change the username password. But when we write to the properties file, we will just go and change to the properties file. It will be applicable for everywhere. Easy to make scripts. What does mean easy to make scripts? What does mean easy to make scripts? Easy to make scripts means, let's say when you are writing method for all pages in the page class, right? When you are writing all the method of pages, let's say application has 5 pages, right? Or just take an example of Myntra. You have login, product details page, add to basket and checkout. Now what you did, inside the page library folder you made 4 Java class. One is login.java, one is product details.java, one is add to basket.java, and one is checkout.java. Now in every .java class file you have written all the methods. In product details page you have already written the method select product, select filter, select price range, select all, right? In the basket page you have written add to basket, continue shopping, remove items from the basket. In checkout page you have written select bank, select details, right? Select COD, select net banking. So when you have a method in your page, designing a script is very easy. Just create one script, just call method. Your script is ready. So design of a script will be very fast. But when you don't have this method created already, when you don't have a framework, when you don't have the method created, then in every script you have to do same thing. Every script you have to first find the locator, then write driver dot find elemento, don't send keys, right? So everywhere you have to call driver dot find element, driver dot find element. But when you have methods ready, you have to just call the method, right? Easy to understand application scripts. What does last line? Easy to understand application scripts. How? Let's say when you followed a structured way, right? When we have all your page library, when you have all your reports, logs at right place, right? So you created it, so you might be knowing that for you it will not be a problem even though you don't have a framework. But whenever a new joining comes, right, for him or her, it will be very tough because he might not be aware when you design what you thought, right? So if you have a framework and you have separate folder for everything, even for new joiners it's very easy. They can easily understand, okay, this folder has this information, this folder has page library, this folder has this page has a screenshot, this page has log, this page has custom listeners, this page has test base. So they can easily understand, right? So I think now you guys can clearly explain why framework and what is the benefit. Okay, so this I have not copied from anywhere. This is my personal experience, and for me it's been more than 5 years into this industry, and I work as a automation engineer. So these are the all possible reason why we create a framework and what are the benefits we will get, right? So please try to understand. Watch this video again and again. So whatever you have a doubt, please write comment below my video, right? I will explain that. And if you like this video, okay, just like my video, subscribe my channel, right? I'll be making a video for Selenium all modules plus core Java. I am already doing that, so you can go through my core Java playlist. Now this is our first question. Second question is, they will ask you explain your framework structure, right? First they will ask you why framework, then they will ask you explain your framework structure. That is very, very important, and that no teacher will teach you. Trust me, you go to any institute, you go to any classes, nowhere they will teach you how to create a framework. They will give you some basic idea, do this, do that, this, that, but on a real time how it works nobody will teach you, right? That is the reason I am making this video, right? So what are the framework components? See, whenever you talk about the framework means what component it is required, right? That we need to think, and that comes with the experience that you cannot do in the one day. Nobody can design a framework in 1 day or 2 days, right? It comes with the experience, it comes with the, when we do a lot of trial and error, and when you do a lot of debugging, when you do a lot of scripting, slowly, you will change your framework, and every day you will do enhancement to your framework. You cannot do in 1 day or 2 day. It comes with the experience, and nobody can teach you in 1 day and 2 day. In fact, even whatever video I'm making it's my 4 or 5 years learning. I'm working for 5 years into automation field, and now I'm in position to to make a framework, to modify the framework, to do the custom things in the framework based on my project requirements. So whatever I'll explain today, it's not like wherever you'll go you'll get the same framework. Every company has their own framework, different framework, yes, but there are few basic components which everywhere you will get, no matter, irrespective of any framework, right? Irrespective of any framework, you will have few components you will get everywhere, right? So what I did, based on my experience, I made one pictorial representation, right? I made one pictorial representations here. Yeah, this is the framework, this is the framework structure, right? Don't get afraid, it looks very big, but when I'll explain you, it looks very easy. Okay, so don't get afraid. This is a pictorial representation of framework. See, this is very important in the important question in the interview. Explain your framework components, right? Explain your framework components is a very important question in the interview. And this, even I'll be doing Java coding for this. First I am trying to explain you like why I made all this package and folder, and then what is the purpose, right? And this all things, whatever I am showing here, it is based on my experience, right? Maybe you will not get every components when you join some company, but trust me, wherever you will go, 90% components you will get. 90% components, whatever I have shown here or drawn here, you will get, right? And trust me, if you explain this framework, nobody is going to reject you, because this everything whatever I have done, it's based on my experience. So the moment I will ask you explain your framework components, you have to tell first. Here you are seeing that, right? You have automation. 1 minute. See, whatever line you are seeing, that automation project name, right? This is nothing but your project name. How to design a framework? Don't worry, in the clips I will show you. Here just try to understand the concept is very important to explain anybody. So first you have to tell, first would be your application, your automation project name. Like, what is the project name, right? So project name, basically it can be anything. It can be your application name, it can be Selenium project, it can be whatever, Myntra project, Facebook project, Flipkart project, any project name, you can keep anything, right? So you have project name, that is your project, Java project, right? Inside the Java project you have to create lot of package, right? You have to create lot of package, and as you know that package is nothing but is a placeholder where you store .java file or properties file or Excel data, anything you can store. It's package is nothing but is a folder in the system. Okay, when you create a package, is nothing but it's a folder. Folders means it's a location where we can store our Java file, properties file, Excel data, anything we can store, right? So once we create this project, we have to create our folders. Folder structure is very important, and this is how you have to explain. Okay, this is how you have to explain. So you create one package for config properties folder, right? So what is this config properties? What is this config properties? See, any project has some configuration, right? Any project, what configuration? Any project has URL, any project has login credentials, your username, password, and browser type, right? When you are talking in automation, always talk in terms of automations. For the automations, what are the configurations are required to test any project? You require URL, you require username, you require password, you require browser type, right? Because what URL you have to browse, what is the username, password, and what for what browser you have to test your application. So make one folder first, config properties folder. Guys, this is package, okay? Now this is your project, this is your project, this is your package. Then make one package for Excel reader folder. Don't write Excel reader folder, just write Excel reader folder. I have written just to understand you. This is a package. So Once our config properties folder is ready, we need to have one, Excel reader folder. Why Excel reader folder? Because whenever we do automation, right, or whenever we do a testing, we have to take data from the external source. We have to take data from the external source. External source can be your properties file, can be your Excel, can be your XML, right? So here, I made Excel reader. Why? Because Excel is good where you can keep your n number of data in Excel sheet, right? So you have to make one folder for the Excel reader, right? In this folder, Excel reader folder, you will be creating class for Excel reader, like how to read the data, how to write the data from the Excel. So within this package you have to create one class, Excel reader class, that will be responsible to read all the data and from the Excel and write the data to the Excel, right? So for any project we have to take data, right? Any project, take example of any project, any framework, take example of any project, any framework, it requires data, because when we are doing testing requires data. That is simple answer. Whenever you are doing testing requires data. So for that I have made one Excel reader folder, and one for config properties, because whenever you are doing testing you require configurations, right? You have to do configurations, URL, what is the configuration, URL, username, password, what is the browser you have to test. That is very important in the testing. Then whenever you are doing a testing, you need to have a locations where you will store the screenshot, right? Whenever you are doing a testing, you need to have the locations where we have to store the screenshots. Like whenever we do testing, automation testing, basically our script will get failed. So when a script will get failed, we need to capture the screenshot, because see, whenever you are doing a testing, automation testing, you will not be there, near to your systems. So whenever your script will get failed, you will not come to know that. When you are doing it manually, you are seeing that. Whenever you are doing it manually, you are seeing your UI. But when you are doing through automations, you might not see the UI, because you will be running in the VM, or you will be giving nightly execution, so you will not be seeing that. So in that case, whenever it get fails, you have to capture the screenshot and you have to store to some location. So for that, make one folder, a screenshot folder. Then log folder. What is log folder? See, whenever you are running a script, you need to know like how many lines has been executed, and if a script failed, at what point it got failed, right? So you need to have the log. Log means how many lines has been performed, where it failed. So how you will do that? You have to do through the log folder. So again, inside the log folder, you have to, there is three ways you can do the login. One is through log4j. Log4j is one way. In fact, testng has a reporter class, so you can do through reporter class. Third is you can do through you can make a custom class, like writing log into the text file. So you can do anything. So inside the log folder, you can make your class for you can make a class, right? And the class has your all login methods. Again, here also in the screenshot folder, here this folder will store only screenshot. So here Java coding is not required. Now applications locators. See, whenever you are doing automation, right, you need to locate the locators. You need to get all the objects of the pages. Whenever any project, any framework, when we do automations, we need to have the locators. Without locators we cannot do automation, because finally we perform action on the locators only. Locators is nothing but objects on the UI. UI is nothing but user interface. So whenever we do testing, we need to have the locators, right? And locators where we can keep either in the properties file or in the script itself. So I always prefer to keep into the properties file. Why properties file? You'll come to know in my future video, right? Properties file is very important. So whatever locators you write, XPath, CSS, ID, name, text, lot of things, you can write to a properties file. If you write into the properties file, maintenance will be very easy, because if you are writing to the properties file, you are calling everywhere from the properties file. You are using the locator from the properties file. So tomorrow if there is a failure, you can just go and change to a properties file. So properties file is very important, right? So understood why this properties file folder is required, just to keep your all properties file, and properties file has locator of the object. Now what is this page library? Why I have written this page library? See, this page library is nothing but whenever we do automation, what is the purpose of automation? The purpose of automation is to reduce our execution effort, right? That is the purpose of automation, to reduce our execution effort. So how we will do that? There is only one way. How we can do that? There is only one way. One way is everything should be structured, everything should be at right place, everything should be into the particular folder. That's where we can reduce our effort. So this page library folder, this is a package which has all your page methods. Like let's say, take an example of Myntra or Flipkart. You have login page, that is one class. Second class would be your product details page. Third class will be your basket page, and fourth class will be your checkout page, right? So that all class, whatever class you have written, inside that you have to write method for that class. Whatever method is nothing but your business flow, your action which we perform onto the page. So if I'll take example of basket page, I can make n number of methods in that. I can make one method for add to basket, one is continue shopping, one is remove item from the basket, one is add item to the basket. Like that, for every pages you have to make a method. Why method is required? Because if you have a ready-made, you are designing the script, you can just call the method. But when you don't have method for the pages, right, it will be painful for you, because every time in the script you have to do the same coding, right? So for that we require page library. Then what is test base folder? What is this test base, right? Test base means, why test base is important? First of all, what will happen if I will not keep test base? See, here test base is very, very important. You know why? Because you are seeing that here you have lot of package. One package for config file, one package for Excel reader, one package for a screenshot, one package for log folder, one for application locator, one for page library. Then there should be some place in our application, in our framework, there should be some place in our framework which will combine all the package, which will combine all the class, right? We need to interlink, right? If you not link all packages, all package is a separate package. So we need to have the mechanism, we need to have a class, we need to have a package which will link all, which will link config, which will link Excel reader, which will link config, Excel reader, a screenshot, log, locator, page library, right? We have to link everything. How we will link it? We link it through test base. This test base is nothing but, here we will initialize all your objects, here we will load all your properties file, here we will create a driver instance. So this test base is very, very important. This will connect everything, right? This will connect everything. So test base, name itself is a test base of the test. So base of the test will link everything. Now what is the test utils folder, right? What is test utils folder? Test utils folder means you want to override some WebDriver API, right? Like WebDriver has API called get a screenshot, WebDriver has API called switch to frame or action class, right? So see, when you are not overriding the method, take a screenshot, when you are hard coding to your script, every time you will be calling 2-3 line, or take an example of explicit wait, it has 2-3 lines of coding. Or you can take a example of explicit wait with pulling interval, right? So it has 4-5 lines of coding. So when you are not overriding it, every scripts you have to write 5 lines of code. So it's better in util class, override that method, you make your custom method, just keep some name like explicit wait, inside that you write all the codes. So in your script, what you will do is you will just call that method from the utility, right? Or just take an example of you can make lot of your own custom methods, like this WebDriver, we don't have something called find element. We have find element, but we don't have method for verify element in WebDriver, right? Or in fact find element method we have, but find element, what happens is if element is not found, it will give you the exception, right? So we can make our custom class. We can, we can make one custom class find element in the utility. We can write that if find, if not found, go to the catch, return false, and in try may return true. So we can make a lot of our custom methods. In fact, your explicit wait, we can write one method, wait for page to load, method name, and inside that we'll do a coding for explicit waiting. So we can create our custom API over written methods, right? That is the benefit of test utils. All all the method we can keep it to the util class. Now after every one these things is over, see guys, here I have written on the top test script folder, custom listener, test ng and build. Why? Because I didn't had a space and I wanted to cover into the single page. Here I didn't had the space and I wanted to cover into the single screen, so I just kept at the top. Okay, please consider this as a continuation. After this now you can consider a continuation after this, but I just wrote on the top because I didn't have place here, and I don't want to scroll, I don't want to scroll this side, that side. So you can just consider as a continuation here, right? So after that we have test script folders. What is the test script folders? See, whenever we do automations, we work on the different modules, right? We work on the different modules. So we need to have one test script folder. Inside the folder, we'll write the script based on the modules, right? So we need to make one test script folders. Inside that we'll make a script for the modules, like somebody will be working for the product details page, somebody would be working for the basket page, somebody would be working for the payment page, right? So we need to make one folder, test script folders. Inside that we'll make another folder like basket page folder. Inside the basket page folder we'll write all your basket related test case. Again, inside the test script folders we'll make another folder called checkout page. Inside the checkout pod we'll write all the scripts related to checkout, right? Again, inside the test script folders we'll write one product details page. Inside the product details page we'll write all our product details related test script, right? So once your script is done, you need to have custom listener. What is custom listener? See, custom listener is very important in the Selenium. Custom listener basically, we'll create one folder. Inside that we'll create one class, custom listener class. Custom listener class, basically it overrides the method of listener, right? We have lot of listeners that I will explain you when I will do a coding. So basically you can override the method of listeners. Override means you can create your own method, right? And guys, one more important thing, before watching this video, please keep all the knowledge of Selenium WebDriver and Java, because when I was making this video, my aim was not to explain you what is Java and what is WebDriver. Here I just making a video for the framework. Okay, so custom listener has listener class, right? Once everything is over, once you have a listener, you have a script, you have a library, you have properties file, everything is over. Now what is the next things? We need to have a sweet file. Sweet file means, sweet file is a mechanism through which we can call multiple test script in one shot, right? Because let's say we have designed 50 scripts. Now to call all 50 scripts, we need to make one suite, right? Because we cannot run one by one. If I'll do one by one run, right click run, then there is no more automation. Then it's a manual thing, right? Automations means everything should be automatic. So for that we have to write one test ng suite.xml. Through this XML we can run all our scripts. Now how to invoke test ng suite.xml? To invoke test ng suite.xml, you have to either you can invoke through cmd, right, or you have build tools. I use ant build.xml. So I just make a build.xml and I invoke this build.xml, right? So because to run the suite file we need to have some mechanism. We have to run, we cannot go inside, always you cannot go right click on the build.xml, right click run as a test ng. We cannot do that. We have to do from the external source, and if you want to do from the external source, you need to have some build mechanism. So I prefer ant. We have build.xml. Inside the build.xml we can give the location of the test ng suite, and we can trigger through cmd or through Jenkins, right? So this is component of framework. So hope these components are clear for you guys. Please watch this video 3-4 times Still you have a doubt, please comment below my video. And if you like my video, just hit on the like button. Okay, just don't watch, just click on the like button and write some good comments if you like this video. Okay, write some comments and tell me if I have to do some changes, or tell me if I have to modify anything. So tell me if some points are not clear, I'll make one more video and I will try to explain one more time, because this concept is very very important. And now I'll be continuing with the framework design in the Eclipse, so you guys will come to know that how to design and all that, right? So hope you'll like this video. Okay, thank you for watching this framework video.